Bengals fans are amazing. They're resilient, they're tough, but they're fun. And I'm really excited to hopefully meet a lot more of you.
Isaac has the big game. Then we became a real balanced offense for the playoff run, which I thought was really important.
He put on the greatest route running exhibition I have ever seen in my life.
He was football 24/7, and that was the greatest part of Chad.
At times, the early part, I would tell him when we were throwing deep passes, I said, don't wait too long, because I'm going to get away. If you ain't going to have the arm to get there. So, I want to run to the ball,
Well, Duke, looks like Duke's in the waiting room. I don't want to keep Duke waiting. He gave us a very limited amount of time. I know he's a busy man. Duke, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Jim, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm real busy. I'm sitting on my porch.
Yeah, well, hey. Have a little drink going on there.
Joe Burrow has played in big games his entire life, and I would think he will be a steady hand at the bow of the ship. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they take him all the way to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talking Football with Bengal Jim and friends. Our 6-4 Cincinnati Bengals beat down to the city near West Virginia, guys. It was a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Cold as hell near the city near West Virginia. But this is what all the Bengal fans are doing right now, drinking Steeler tears.
I love it.
That's my buddy Drew Garrison posted that video. That's my dude right there, man. So, guys, real quick lineup tonight. We got Evan coming on here in a few minutes. Evan McPherson. We got Cam Miller, kind of promo in his new piece that he's doing, Riverfront Remembered. A lot of stuff about the Cincinnati Bengals. We got our On the Mark segment later, and we got Making a Difference with Tony the Tiger. You're not going to believe where we're at with the charity number. Just barely halfway through the year, guys. So. You know what? We don't want to keep Evan waiting. I think he's in the waiting room. I think we go ahead and go to him. Guys, you okay with that?
Here we go.
Let's roll.
Evan, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy? Can you hear us? That's all right.
No, we got no audio there.
Hold on, we'll figure it out.
Unmute yourself. There you go.
There,
There he is.
nope.
Hold on, I'll text
No,
him. I'll text him. We'll put him in
all right.
We'll put him in the waiting room real quick, and I'll
Might have to reconnect and then give permission for the microphone.
Yep, I'm going to text that to him right now. Go ahead and go with it, Tom.
So,
Yeah,
Tom,
no
let's talk about that big win Sunday. I think a lot of us looked at the schedule and said, man, 0-3 going into Pittsburgh on Sunday. First of all, we need to win, but we also need the AFC divisional win, and came out on top. Your thoughts?
Just needed to win, period, and they did. It was a little nerve-wracking in the first half, but one of the things you have to absolutely give this coaching staff for, the days of going in at halftime and either with a slight lead or tied or behind, and then coming out and being outplayed in a game of chess are over. It seems like halftime is a rejuvenation and a refiring. And they came out definitely on defense. I thought they collared them well. A little bit of disappointment with the Steelers' last drive that ended up in a touchdown, but I thought the defense was outstanding. And number 9 did exactly what we've grown accustomed. He's really spoiling us. But, yeah, number 9 showed big. He ran the offense well. Guys that we didn't figure were going to be pillars of this team stepped up, and it was a great, exciting win. Biggest win of the year.
Coming off the bye, I agree. We've always been a little bit questionable coming off the bye, but no hesitation there, and a great start to the second half of the year. Jimmy, you think we got him back?
Let's try it again here real quick.
You want to give it a try? All right, here we go.
Are we good now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, there we go.
I switched to the laptop. I was trying to do it on my phone. Obviously, it wasn't working, so we switched to the laptop.
All good.
You're good.
We got you.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah, we will. I know we got you for a period of time here, man. So we want to kind of hit a couple things here real quick. I got to ask you. I'm going to play a quick video, and it's not you. It's not a video of you, Evan. So I just want to play this, and because I didn't know this until today. So, and this is a great video here. So we're going to play this short clip. All right. So tell it. Do you know what that kick was, right?
Yep. I'd say I know it.
Tell everybody. Tell it, because a lot of people don't know this.
Well, that was my little brother breaking my high school record for the longest field goal made in Alabama high school football history, I guess.
It was 61. Yours was at 60?
It was. Yeah, the crazy thing is he was holding for my 60-yard field goal.
Did not know that. Did not know that.
Yeah.
So how much did he – I know he had to talk a lot of trash after that game to you.
No, I mean, I was excited for him. And honestly, I feel like I was probably one of the ones that was most excited that he finally hit the kick, because I think he had probably close to 10 attempts over 60 yards that season.
Wow.
And so just to get that one to finally go in, and I think that was the second to last game, I was super, super stoked for him. Obviously would love to have my name in the record books, but if it's his name, I'm fine with it.
That's funny. James, I think you had a follow-up.
Yeah, you got to be proud of your little brother. Obviously, you went the SEC route with Florida. He went the SEC route at Auburn now. Mm-hmm. Any insight there? Is Lane Kiffin going to be his next coach? What have you heard from Alabama?
Well, I actually haven't heard anything from him. I don't think they really know too much about who their next head coach is going to be. But if I had that insight, I don't know if I'd be able to share it, but I can confidently tell you that I don't know who the next head coach is going to be.
Yeah. So go ahead, James.
No, all good. Just, you got to be proud, as you mentioned, of your little brother doing great things in the SEC and hopefully be at this level. So kudos to him. And, something we talk about on the show a lot is World Cup soccer, which is going on now. We know the World Cup started this week. Jimmy, you got a picture you want to share?
I didn't want to put this on here, but, I got to do it. Where is it? Here it is. This is Evan McPherson right here.
Okay.
Is that really you? Is that really you, Evan?
Yeah, it's me. I think that might have been freshman or sophomore year.
So what position did you play?
So I played striker, forward, whatever you call it. I love to score goals and give assists. So I wasn't into defense or anything.
Okay, well, let me do this. I'm going to bring on somebody real quick. This is Mark, who is going to come on later in the show. Mark had a question for you.
All
hey,
right.
Mark, go ahead and fire away, big dog.
What's going on, Evan? I was wondering, do you root for a team, non-MLS, like a European side?
Non-MLS? Well, that's a great question. My older brother definitely could talk to you a lot more about just kind of like Major League Soccer. He's a big I'm pretty sure he's a Liverpool fan. Pretty sure. I honestly couldn't tell you. But honestly don't keep up a lot with soccer overseas. Growing up, I've always been a big fan of obviously the U.S. men's, but I've always enjoyed watching the U.S. women's play soccer, just how dominant they've been. And I got to watch them here in Cincinnati whenever they came and played. I can't remember the team they played, but they beat them like 9-1. So it was cool to see them actually in person.
That's cool. Well, Mark, I got you on
the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So I got some more videos here, Evan. I mean, this is a hard thing to do, right? So you probably have a memorable kick, which we'll get to here in a minute. But you probably, any interview you ever do, you probably get this. But this video right here was probably one of the first videos I saw you outside of college. But the bottle cap challenge here. Let's show this video to everybody, because believe it or not, there's still people out here who have not seen this video. All right. That's just absolutely crazy, Evan. So tell everybody that right now that's watching, there's people, believe it or not, that don't know about this. So talk about this.
Yeah. So it was just something that was going around. A lot of like specialists around the country were like doing ball cup challenges where if it was snappers, kickers, just kind of doing their own unique ways of twisting off a bottle cap. And I thought it'd be a good way to get some, you could say like exposure or like some media attention. And for whatever reason, that idea came to my mind to tape a Gatorade bottle to the balcony up there in the indoor. And took me about 30 to 40 attempts, but finally got it and posted it, and it went viral. I kind of thought it would, but I didn't really know. But whenever it kind of started catching wind and everybody kind of started asking me if they could use it on their platform, it just kept growing and growing. And that's honestly probably one of the main questions I get when somebody meets me for the first time. They're like, is that video real? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not that good at like editing. So
Hey, Tom, I know you had a question for him as well.
You know, Evan, in the history of the Bengals franchise, we had a lot of good kickers. We've had a Pro Bowler in Shane Graham, record holders in Jim Breach, one of the first soccer-style kickers, Horst Muhlman. You've only been here a year and a half. I can't remember any of them having as many game-winning kicks as you have had, and certainly none of them have won playoff games and sent us to the Super Bowl. When you're getting ready for those kicks, do you think of anything different, or is it just walking on the field, concentrating? It's just another kick from whatever distance.
Yeah, I think it all pretty much comes down to not overthinking it. I think, kickers, a lot of the times, we can get in our own heads and overthink kicks, but, at the end of the day, you just kind of, you can't put too much pressure on yourself in certain situations. And so I just constantly remind myself to not overthink things, just go out there with a clear mind and just kind of execute. Because there definitely are times where I go out there and I'm thinking about maybe a streak I'm on, or man, like I hope I don't miss this one. Like, this is a big kick. Chances are you're probably going to miss if you're out there thinking that you're going to miss. And so, I've really been challenging myself just to go out there with a clear mind and just executing and moving on to the next one, and same process every single one.
Following that up with the teammates that you have, if it's a big kick at the end of the game and they know it's going to come down to you kicking it, whether it be at halftime, into the game, does everybody stay away from you? Does anybody not talk to you, or is it just regular stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some people are different. Some people will come up and just, give me a high five or pat on the head. Just, you got this. Just go out there and do what you do. But then there are those people that just kind of stay away and just kind of let you focus on what you got to do. So there's definitely a little bit of both.
I would like to, first of all, again, thanks, Evan, for being with us tonight. Tons of viewers in the chat area right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you have some questions, throw them in there. Jamie will try to get to one or two of them before Evan has to go here today. But Evan, I want to tell you a little bit of follow-up to Tom's question is, there's been some outstanding kickers in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals, man. And I've never in my life seen more Evan McPherson jerseys around than for any kicker in the history of, I don't know if there's any statistics. I was asking one of the guys that manages the pro shop down at the Paul Brown Stadium. He didn't tell me exactly how many were sold, but evidently they've sold more kicker jerseys, Evan McPherson jerseys, than any other kicker they've ever had before. So, Evan, congratulations on that, bro. That's pretty cool to see people walk around with your jersey.
Yeah, no, it's a big blessing for sure. Just to be so loved by one city, and it really does mean a lot just to have that support. Even through the struggles, I know that the Cincinnati Bengals fans are always going to be behind me no matter what. So, you know, it really gives me a lot of confidence to go out there kind of stress-free because, you know I'm not going to be perfect. We strive to be, but nobody's ever going to be perfect. And so it kind of lets me relax and know the times that things don't go right, you know, not everybody's going to jump on my back and hate me. And so that's what I've really loved about just kind of getting to know the fan base and just trying to really connect with them because, you know, those are the people that are coming and cheering us on, taking time out of their day to come watch us and kind of screw with the other team. So
yeah,
well, anything I can do to connect with the fans, I love to do.
Well, Evan, let me tell you something. You knew the history of the Bengals, had some great years. We've had a little stretch there before last year without winning a playoff game here. But let me tell you something. You will ever be remembered in football history, Cincinnati football history, for a lot of things you did last year. But this video right here brought tears to tens and thousands of Cincinnati Bengal fans across the world. So AFC Championship field goal right here.
From 31 yards, McPherson, and Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl. He called it again, I'm sure. He walked up and he goes, "Can you believe, Coach? We're going to the Super Bowl." This was just dead center. Shooter McPherson.
So Evan, you got to understand. I almost have tears in my eyes watching that damn thing. Me, Tony, Brandon, Caleb, James. We were all there in the corner of that end zone to the left of that upright.
Okay.
And we were literally crying. We could not stop. We couldn't even talk to each other, brother. You and your boys, man. It was a magical run last year that we're a minute and a half short of winning that damn thing in the Super Bowl. But talk about the emotions of that AFC Championship kick right there, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can honestly put those emotions into words. It's real tough because obviously coming in, they kind of prep you on. You know the history of the Bengals. You know they've had a rough couple of years. You know it's been a while since you've been in the Super Bowl, and just to come in first year and experience that, and to see how much joy it really brought the city and how much pride it brought back. It was truly awesome. And just the emotions on the field, knowing that, you know, we did it, we get to go compete for a Super Bowl. It was really special. And you know, I really am blessed that it actually came down to me because it could have easily just ran the ball probably a couple more times and scored. Because I think on that last drive after we got the pick, I mean, they couldn't stop us.
That's right.
And so for them to start taking a knee and just put it all on me, it really meant a lot just to go out there and you know send the team to the Super Bowl.
That's awesome. Jamie, we have some viewer questions. If not, I keep going here.
Yeah, we do. We have some viewer questions, but before I get to that, I have a quick question from myself. Evan, are you a gamer by chance?
I am.
Yeah, PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Madden or Warzone?
Warzone.
There we go. Perfect.
No hesitation.
Cool.
I don't like sports games. That's a hot take. I don't like sports games.
Oh, interesting. All right, cool.
Where did those questions even come from, Jamie? Those were like out of left field.
I want to ask him something a little bit different than the typical stuff that we're getting. All right.
Little personality questions.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, couple fan questions here, guys. From our buddy Augie in New York. If you're taking viewer questions, in cold weather games like Sunday when the ball doesn't travel quite as far, what is the most important adjustment to make as a kicker on the longer field goals?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to making sure you hit it solid because the ball doesn't compress as well as it does in warmer weather. The leather's a lot stiffer, and like I said, it's not going to compress, and that bladder is not going to compress like it normally does. And so, sorry.
That's all right.
And there goes our next question about if you have any pets.
About my pets?
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, just in the cold weather games, you really got to make sure you hit the ball right. You got to hit it solid for it to travel in the cold.
Yeah, I tell you what, Evan, we were at that game Sunday, sitting about the 5-yard line. Tony, me, a bunch of us were there. man, even in warmups, watching the punts and the kicks, I was like, man, you could tell there was no kicks going into the end zone at all.
Yeah,
On the
and
kickoff.
you can tell for sure on the kickoffs.
Yeah,
that really affects it a good bit. But the balls are kind of deflated too. The cold weather was kind of deflating them a little bit, so it's weird.
Yeah. Let's go one more viewer question. Yeah.
One more viewer question. All right, let's go with AJ. At what age do you realize you had a gift with kicking?
What age did I realize I had a gift? So I started kicking right around 5th grade. So that'd have been probably when I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or so, 12, 13, 14, something like that. But I'd say it didn't really get too serious until I was about probably 2 years later, like seventh grade going into 8th grade, is whenever I really got more serious about kicking. And that's when my older brother actually went to college to kick. And so that's when I really saw that there was more after high school. And whatever my older brother did, I really wanted to do. So from then on out, it was, my life mission to go play college football and then ultimately play in the NFL. So I'd probably say somewhere around like 8th grade.
Cool.
Funny. Evan, do you have time for one or two more?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to fire one here real quick. So this is a pitcher, halftime show. Just chilling out in the field, watching. Who were you there to see? Dre, 50, Snoop, Mary J, Eminem. Who did you want to see?
I was there to see the one and only Eminem.
I lost money on it.
Awesome.
I said it was going to be 50. Damn it.
Nope. It was pretty cool seeing him come out from the ceiling, but he just dropped down upside down. But I'm a big Eminem fan.
Cool.
Always been. That goes back to my older brother. Huge Eminem fan. Had a burnt CD that one of his old girlfriends gave him, I think, and he just left it in his car. And every time I would drive it, it should be playing. So I've always been a big Eminem fan. I was hoping to get a picture with him when we were in there, or at least meet him, say hi, but it didn't happen.
That's cool. That's cool. Jamie,
Next Super Bowl.
You want to go one more viewer question? I know we had a bunch of them in there. I didn't know if you want to do one more.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Andrea has a weird question for you. She says, my favorite thing to see is the little double jump that you do right before kicks on the field. Is that something specific to you personally, or is it common amongst other kickers?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where just keeping my legs warm, keeping them loose, and just getting ready to go out on the field and kick. But yeah, I pretty much just use it just to stay warm and make sure my legs are, because a lot of kicking is fast twitch muscles, and so just making sure those are firing and ready to go.
Yeah. All right, Evan. So last question. Sorry for all the overly serious questions by us, but what's your go-to here? Is it shooter or money mac?
We'll go money mac.
That's what I thought.
I think that's what I thought. Everybody loves that one. So,
all right,
but
Tom, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and close us out with my last question. I know you're itching to get one more in.
Well, actually, I was going to do another off the wall one. I was going to ask him about his new holder. How were his nerves last week? It looked like he did a fantastic job for you.
Yeah, Drew did a fantastic job, like you just said. He's been preparing for this moment for a while. Coming in last year, me and him came in together, went through OTAs and rookie mini camp. And he knew that holding was one of those things that he really needed to, lock down and work on and perfect. And I think that he's done a great job of just, doing the necessary work kind of it took to be where he is today. And, he has my ultimate trust. And he's gained that over the past year for sure, just with everything that he's done. And all the work that we put in together. So the operation it's looking pretty clean right now.
All right. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving? You going home with the fam? What are you doing? You get to spend a little time?
Obviously, I got married in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We just got 2 puppies in August. And so we're just kind of hanging out here. I think we might go down to Cracker Barrel and have a nice Thanksgiving meal there if they're open. I don't know if they are.
All right. Hey,
I think
everybody's watching right now. Evidently, Evan needs a turkey. We need to get him some food. Pumpkin pie or pecan pie, Evan? Pumpkin pie or pecan?
I'm not a big pie guy.
Cake?
Cake? I'll take cake, but I will say, if I had my choice, I would choose pecan pie, I think. I love pecans. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's the winner. Evan, brother, look, it means a lot you being with us. Look, man, I love doing this stuff with the former players and current players because it's a different feel than you talking to the media, right? And we love it, man. And there are tons of folks watching right now. We want to wish you luck the rest of your happy Thanksgiving, brother. And you do not understand. You've only been here a year and a half, but you are already etched in Cincinnati football history forever, brother. And
100%.
You're just getting started, man. So we're excited to have you, man. We love you to death.
So you got a long way to go, but we're just gonna keep on doing it, and hopefully we can just keep going. Get to another Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got to get those damn Titans this week first. Let's keep it going here, brother.
Will do. Well, I appreciate
We
you.
really appreciate your time, Evan. Thank you so much.
Who day?
Thank you, Evan.
All right, guys. Who day?
He was awesome.
Nice.
So, okay, you guys are giving me crap here for asking about PlayStation or Xbox. You're asking them if it's pecan pie or pumpkin pie.
Jamie, I was this close to telling him you're from Canada.
I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on?
He's gonna go back to the team. Don't ever fucking go on that show ever. Be prepared. Be prepared for some off the wall questions.
Some off the wall questions.
That was awesome.
Hey, we don't have any gotcha questions on Bengal Jim and Friends. We're just having fun. This is fun.
We learned a lot. We learned a lot about Evan, right? M&M fan. I didn't know that till tonight. And evidently, he likes pecans. I'm just saying.
No sleeves.
Guys, hey, James, you want to go to introduce our next guest? Look, let me tell you something. This is one of my top 10 followers on social media, on Twitter, man. And Tom and I, we freaking love the history of the city, the Cincinnati Bengals specifically. And this guy right here does stuff for the Reds and Bengals, and he's got a great project going on right now. But James, you want to go ahead and introduce our next guest?
Yeah, he's back for a second time. He was very gracious with his time, maybe on either end of season 1 or season 2. So he's back joining us here on season 3. Just did a fun event at the Reds Hall of Fame called Riverfront Remembered. But obviously Riverfront has a special meaning for the Bengals fans as well. So I'd like to bring on Cam Miller here and talk about Riverfront Remembered and his new film he has coming out. Hey, Cam, welcome.
Hey guys, hope there's no gotcha questions, but I am prepared if you got it.
We know.
I don't know. It depends. Are you a pie eater?
I love apple pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie. I mean, you could put just chocolate frosting inside of a pie shell, and I'd probably eat that. So it's all good.
That's as hard as it get, bud.
It's funny. It's funny as we, there was no doubt in my mind when Evan would come on, there would be nothing from the 80s on in his backdrop. And sure enough, he's got our 60s and 70s Bengal pumpkin head helmet back there on the shelf. I love it, brother. Love it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So the one thing I want to touch on, Cam, is, again, that Reds Riverfront Remembered piece that you debuted at the Reds Hall of Fame last, I think Friday was the date. But the one thing that struck me while watching that 30-minute clip, which was well done, was how much Paul Brown had and the future Bengals organization had in River with the construction of Riverfront, the whole thing happening, all that. Can you touch on that for a little bit, Cam?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for starters, Riverfront doesn't get built if in the mid-'60s Paul Brown doesn't come down and have a luncheon with city leaders. If he doesn't come down for that luncheon and make his presence known in the Queen City, Riverfront doesn't get built. They build a stadium somewhere, but it would be Blue Ash, the Kings Island site, Lunken Airport. They talked about it there. There was many sites considered, but Paul Brown comes in and does what Paul Brown does, and people listen. So he says, "Yeah, I want to bring a team here, and the condition is you have to put it at Riverfront Stadium. We got to have that on the river. That's where the development's going to happen." And sure enough, the city quickly changed their mind. Oh, well, of course, Mr. Brown, whatever you say, Mr. Brown. So without Paul Brown, Riverfront doesn't get built. And then, of course, November, I think it was 27th, 28th, around there of 1967, he signs a 40-year lease. The Bengals do. And the rest, of course, is history.
The rest is history. Tom, you want to go ahead and elaborate on that?
Well, I know, Cam, there was, mini panic. Cincinnati was trying desperately to get a pro football team. The Reds were flirting with moving to San Diego. But like you said, Paul Brown came in, gave stability. We had those two, nursery school years at Nippert before opening up at Riverfront. But, right away with all the success of all the teams. But, for decades, the highest attended sporting event in Cincinnati was at Riverfront Stadium. It was a Bengals-Browns game. So, it was a year-round sports cathedral. It meant everything for a sports fan here in town. But, probably the loudest and most emotional it got was for the Bengals. Does your film show any of that, especially from the early years?
Yeah. So just to put it into some reference here, the Riverfront Remembered film, there's a trilogy, right? The Riverfront Remembered film was the Reds, which I premiered at the Hall of Fame. And just a fantastic crowd, just nothing but great comments. I really do appreciate all that. The second film is Riverfront Remembered, The Jungle, which is going to focus on the Cincinnati years in Riverfront, more specifically the birth of the jungle. Like, I've got it down to the half hour of when the jungle was actually born, the birth of the term "Welcome to the Jungle." So just the research going into that. And then, of course, like you said, the loudness. It was a Roman Coliseum, right? That stadium was multi-purpose, but there was nothing like listening to 56,000 fans just go crazy in that place in a circular. There's nowhere for the sound to go. As much as I love Paycor, Paul Brown, there's something about where the noise, it gets loud, believe me, but it can escape, right? It gets loud, but there was something special about Riverfront's loudness. It was unbelievable. So trying to capture that and recapture that in this film, the second part of my Riverfront trilogy. The third one's going to be about the music acts, the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, things like that. But this jungle one, it really came together fairly quickly. Once I found out, some of the details, I knew the history, but once I started getting into the details about how the jungle was born in 1988, that's when it really got juicy. And I started digging up things, and it's just been an incredible film to make it. I'm almost done. I've got to put the soundtrack on, so it should be out, if not at the end of this year, the beginning of next year, early January.
If you don't mind, Cam, can we go ahead and show the trailer for that now?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Yes.
All right, let's do it.
The Reds were thinking about leaving, as I remember, because there wasn't a stadium that was worthy. And yet the city had to have the second major league franchise in order to build a stadium. And that's where I came in. I came here because I felt at home here.
That's a great trailer.
I cannot, Cam, I cannot wait. You need to do this in a movie theater somewhere. We will sell that damn place out. Do a grand opening of that damn thing. I promise you, we will fill that place up because I know I get it. I know Tom gets excited as hell about this stuff. But talk a little bit, Cam, about so people don't realize, the Reds were looking at leaving. late in the 60s, because people don't hear about that. So do you have anything else you can elaborate on with that and a little bit of detail behind that?
Well, Mr. DeWitt, who ran the franchise, he was adamant about we have to get a stadium. The parking is atrocious at Crosby. We have to get a stadium. Not only did he want a stadium, he wanted one in the suburbs. He thought downtown was a bad idea, too much crime. It's not going to develop. It's just, that's not a place where you build a stadium. Let's go out to Blue Ash. But then when Paul Brown and the city leaders all got together and it was determined with Paul Brown's blessing that this should be on the riverfront, he foresaw the future. Bill DeWitt was out. He's like, well, I'm going to sell the team. And thankfully, when he sold the team, the people, the Enquirer bought the team and a few other people were involved in the ownership group. They decided, yeah, Paul Brown's right. We're going to not only keep the Reds in Cincinnati, we are going to sign this lease as well, and let's get this ball rolling. But it was close. I mean, it was very, very close. They were talking about going to San Diego. There was talk of them going to New York. So, yeah, it was really, really at the 11th hour. And people don't realize as well, as like you said about the Reds being on the cusp of moving, the Bengals wouldn't have been the Bengals if Riverfront Stadium is not in the works. If that doesn't happen, I don't think that Paul Brown's going to come here. I really don't.
It's interesting. So literally, the Bengals saved the Reds here in Cincinnati.
Absolutely. No question about that. Absolutely true.
People don't know this stuff. And that's why I love this stuff, Cam. And we don't want to forget our history, man. And this is what a big piece of what we do want to do in social media is the history around this stuff. So it's great stuff. Tom, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, but as Cam is showing his film, concentrating on the jungle, there is that portion of the Riverfront years for the Bengals, the 70s. The new AstroTurf. Ken Riley, Ken Anderson, that improbable first year winning the AFC Central, the first team, the quickest any expansion franchise at that time had won a division. So you have that era in the 70s. Then the very special 1981 Bengals, the Houday Bengals. That was a team that not only changed sports culture in Cincinnati, or for football, it changed sports culture in Cincinnati. In the 70s, the youngsters here above me don't realize, but you'll remember, Jimmy, you went to Riverfront Stadium to watch any sporting event. Everybody loved the Bengals, and the Reds. Everybody loved the Bengals. Everybody was passionate about winning. Everybody knew football. Everybody knew all the players. But you went, and when we were watching TV of Miami, in that godforsaken city in western Pennsylvania, and to a degree even that godforsaken city on Lake Erie, but you'd watch all these places and you'd see these lunatics. You went to Riverfront, and it was 56,000 people looked like they were going into a meeting with their accountant. That's how everybody was dressed. And, they politely applaud, if a play didn't work, if, Tiger Johnson or Homer Rice called a play that didn't work, sometimes they'd turn around and look at Paul Brown in the owner's box like, what are you going to do? But that 81 team changed it all of a sudden overnight. And Jimmy, we talked about that November game against the Broncos in 81. Overnight, people were painting their faces. Everybody was wearing black and orange to every game. Everybody was the fright wigs. Everybody was screaming. It became a very tough place for the opponents to play. And shift to that, a little bit of a reboot late in the 80s with the rebirth of the jungle, with a different quarterback, a very personable fullback, a man-eating nose tackle. It was special times. And while we love all of our sports in Cincinnati, nothing brings this town together. Nothing gives the emotion that it does when the Bengals are winning. And thank God another generation got a taste of that, last year. And the culture is changing. And it's not just that they're winning, it's the men they have on that team that are so easy to root for. So it's a great time, and it's a perfect time for Cam to bring this film to boot. And I do hope, Cam, when you're talking, though, you're in your third set, the Rolling Stones and so forth, I know you're going to bring up the Bob Braun show being at Riverfront Stadium.
Oh, absolutely. Of course.
My mom used to go all the time.
There's two people, millions of people watching. There's two people know who the hell Bob Braun is. I'm just saying.
Rob Braun.
Rob or Bill, I don't even know who that is.
Cam, one of the things that struck out to me in the Riverfront Remembered were the different designs that were considered for the stadium. What became Riverfront. I believe the round structure there, was that patterned after, was it Fulton County Stadium? Was it the stadium in Atlanta? And they had some ties because that's where the architecture firm came from. Can you
Right,
correct
Mr.
me on that?
James Finch. That's correct. Mr. Finch was the architect, and one of the great discoveries when I was researching was that I knew he was the architect of Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And if you look at them side by side, Riverfront, Atlanta, Fulton County, they're very similar. But I didn't realize that he was in the company in World War II that put the flag on Iwo Jima. Like, that was incredible. Like, to have that history. Like, what? This guy that was in the company that put the flag on Iwo Jima, that famous shot of the soldiers putting the flag, and then he comes back and becomes an architect. And, oh, by the way, is the father of Riverfront Stadium. Just those little things I always love discovering, that just kind of, because there was talk of him marching. They actually had talked about him when Riverfront opened, the architect, Mr. Finch, marching up to the top of the stadium and putting a flag in to symbolize that. But it never came to fruition, unfortunately. But just those little things. Yeah, you're right, though. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was kind of the model for Riverfront.
And then one of the other things that stood out for me, and I think you had a graphic on this. You know, we think of the stadiums today, they're grass, or they're the new AstroTurf. They're, you know, soft surfaces. I think the graphic, and I don't know if you had these numbers in front of you, but it was basically concrete, thick concrete, a little bit of something, and like a very thin layer of turf. So when those players got hit on the football side, I mean, it was like landing on pure concrete. Do you remember those numbers that you shared?
Absolutely.
In that video?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know it was concrete. Then they put crushed gravel, and then there was rubber, maybe 2 inches of rubber, and then some more gravel, and then they would put the turf, half an inch, if that, on top of it. This was, of course, before they knew anything about drainage and how the absorption of knee injuries and how that was going to affect players. They had no idea. This is going to save us money for rainouts for baseball. That's what it was about. Like, they're not going to have to worry about it. But you're right, though. The concrete that was underneath it, they didn't take. There was no shock absorbing going on. That's for sure. And when you hit that, oh man, you hit it. I can't even imagine.
That was definitely another little interesting tidbit that came out about that. But for those that want to go back and see the first video of the Reds and the beginning of Riverfront, as we know, there's going to be 2 more. Where can the watchers and listeners go and check that out, Cam?
They go to my YouTube page, at Cam Miller Films, YouTube, and on Twitter. I post clips all the time at Cam Miller Films. But yeah, my YouTube channel is where all the films go. I make these films and I do these runs, especially with my work with the Reds. Great relationship with them. And once they do their screenings in the Hall of Fame Theater, I'm allowed to post them freely on YouTube so everybody can see it, because there's lots of people that don't live in the tri-state area that also want this. And it goes for the Bengals too. The Bengals film. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing with that. I'm not sure. Maybe we could do something for charity. Maybe we could find a small theater, put that bad boy in there and do something for charity. That would be a thought, maybe, Jim, we could do.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull somebody on. Hey, Tony, that sounds like a great. You're on mute right now, but Tony, that sounds like a great idea, right?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. You say charity, I'm in.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll have to work that out. Get some details here when I get closer to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken, we will absolutely help you with that, and we will absolutely whatever the size of the theater is. I think we can sell that damn thing out, tie it to a charity. That would be fun. Tony,
awesome.
See, awesome stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
Right.
Well, Cam, we appreciate that. I know it's the second time you've been on. We reached out to you. Actually, reached out to you once I saw the film. I think it was Saturday morning when you were allowed to share it. It's like, man, this is cool. Ties in perfectly with the Bengals. You saw the Paul Brown mention that we talked about, and you'll see it in that video. So Jamie's pulling up your YouTube page there now, and as Jimmy said, let's stay in touch. Let's push the part 2 of the trilogy, and no doubt Bengals fans will be very excited to check that out, and see a lot in the comments here. A lot of people didn't know a lot of those nuances of Bengals history, about Riverfront, things like that. So this is something that Bengals fans, and again, as you mentioned, from across the globe, will be excited to see and learn more about.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. Anytime I can come on, talk a little Bengals history, you guys know I'm up for it anytime.
Awesome. Hey, Cam, I got to tell you, man, I know James just thank you, man, but I just don't. I don't know how much you know that it means to us, the stuff that you're doing. There's a lot of fans out there, like literally you should see all the comments in here right now, because there's stuff that you talked about tonight that nobody knows about. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here with everything we're doing. A big piece of what we do is Cincinnati football history, brother. And we love what you're doing. Again, you're one of my favorite followers on Twitter, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I think on your Twitter page, I think Brandon said something a couple days. It's your pinned tweet. Go to his Twitter page. Go to his pinned tweet there. Get to his YouTube channel pretty easily from there. If you're not following Cam, please make sure you follow this guy, because this guy does some outstanding work. I think. Do you spend a lot of time in the library, Cam? I'm serious. That's a serious question.
Well, I used to run those microfilm machines all the time. You know, the crank. I used to do that all the time, but then everything went digital, and I was like, this is great. I haven't left my home in 10 years. What are you talking about? And I've got my own library now. That's the one thing about working for the Reds, is that I built an archive. So, and if it's some little blurb, or I see something about Paul Brown, you know, and what he did in high school, I save it, because you never know when something's going to come up, and you might need that for a film or a project or a book or whatever I'm working on. So I've kind of built my own library. So one day the Cam Miller Library will open for all to enjoy.
Nice.
I'll get my card.
There you go. There you go.
All right, Cam, we appreciate it, buddy. It means a lot, big dog. We'll be following you, and we'll talk to you later, bud. Hooday.
Thank you.
Guys.
Good work.
Hooday.
Dude, that guy is awesome, Tom. It's just some great stuff.
He loves this city. He loves everything about Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. He's all over.
It's one gamut to the other. You know, it's the sports side, it's the architecture side, the history side. Cam covers it all. So kudos to him. There's a lot of legwork that goes into even putting together a 30-minute video. So thank you, Cam, for all you do, for sure.
And he also loves all types of pie. All right, let's move on.
I'm not going to live that down. All right, guys. So we got a lot of stuff to get to still. We got some really good stuff to get to. I guess let's go in. Hey, Mark, you did a segment here, another On the Mark segment. Kind of kick this off for us, brother. We'll pop it up when you're done introducing it.
All right. So as it was already alluded to earlier, the World Cup kicked off. So I went down to Rhine House, this place in Over the Rhine, where I usually watch my soccer matches, and I did some fan interviews. And then we also got some video from Saturday night when you guys hanging out at the Tequila Cowboy, is it called?
Yeah.
And then some footage of you guys at the game in the freezing cold.
Well, here we go.
Hello, friends. We are down in the world famous OTR a few hours before kickoff, where our beloved Bengals will take on the team from West Virginia, the hated Steelers. Now, that's not the only football I'll be watching today. If you don't know, the biggest and most watched tournament in the world, the World Cup, kicked off today in Qatar. So I figure, where better to come than the place that I love to go and watch soccer matches, where my favorite team, the pride of London, the only team in London with the European Cup, Chelsea FC. We came down here to see if we can find some soccer watching Bengals fans and ask them a few questions. What's going on, guys? We're down here at the OTR. We have a few Bengals fans. We're going to ask some questions. So we're here with Danny.
What's good?
And we're also here with Jamie.
What up?
The Bengals. Who is your favorite Bengals player?
So while I'm repping the Mormon Missile right now, Drew Chrisman, baby. Let's go. Got to go with Burrow. How can you not be? He completely took this franchise over and said, nah, we ain't doing it the old way. New school. Joe Shiesty.
All right, how about you, Jamie? Do you have a Bengals favorite Bengals player?
My dark horse is Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson?
Yeah, no, I love all the homies, you know, T Hizzle and Ty Boyd, but like Logan is like, I like the guy that just like does the work in the middle. You know, like
clean up crew.
I'm old school, so I love a good middle linebacker.
Who?
I'm like, you know, so like, yeah, guys like
Logan
that.
Wilson?
DJ Reader, people who like eat and just like are mean, but like also like quiet.
Bring that attitude. I love it.
I'm with it.
All right. Next question. Do you have a game day ritual routine, kind of good luck to help the Bengals win?
I always try and get at least 1 or 2 conies down on a Sunday and at least 4 or 5 times that in beer. I don't really have a tradition or ritual, but I'm going to start one today. Bengals are going to beat Pittsburgh. Drew Chrisman's going to average 78 yards per punt, and I'm going to wear this jersey every day for the rest of my life.
Awesome. How about you, David?
Let's see here.
Well, you run this bitch on weekends.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
It's Bengal Jim, dude.
Okay, it's Bengal Jim. Hi, Bengal Jim.
Bengalman Jimothy.
Bengalman Jimothy. My ritual is be here, be ready for everybody. You know, because not only is we're Bengals fans, but like I'm just fans of everybody in here. They're all super regulars. They all come to OTR to like know that I take care of them. All the games are going to be on. You know, quick service, smile. When we score a touchdown, we do the chant. You know, we sing the song and do the chant.
You stand on the bar.
I stand on the bar.
Oh, yes.
You already know.
Absolutely.
So
occasionally you cry behind the bar when the Bengals go to the Super Bowl.
I cried like a baby.
That's fine. You're not the only one.
I know, right? But, and then I've got my throwback. The first year that Burrow came in the league, I have a authentic jersey that I wear behind the bar.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now,
So I'll have that on later.
one more question. Do you know what the term yins means?
Yes, it is the way to say y'all if you don't know how to pronounce y'all.
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, guys.
Hooray!
Hooray!
All right, what's going on? Back again. We're here with two other fans. What's your name?
Brandon.
And?
I'm Randy.
All right, so we're going to ask him a few questions. So, as you know, World Cup kicked off today. So, A, do you have a favorite team? And B, do you have a team you think will win?
Oh, of course.
All right.
It's America, USA.
Amen.
USA, absolutely.
All right, so who team do you think will win if not America?
Brazil. Neymar's nice. I mean, I think Argentina.
Argentina?
Argentina's got it.
Wow, that'd be cool.
But it's going to be the USA.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go, Pulisic. All right, so let's get down to the real questions. Who is your favorite Bengals player?
Fondo's perfect. No, active? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, of course.
Absolutely. What about you, Randy?
Oh, man. Joe Burrow is fucking killer, but I got to go with Jamar Chase when he's back.
Oh,
Jamar Chase.
You can't go wrong there. Absolutely. One fantastic players. All right, fellas, do you guys have a game day ritual routine that you follow on game days? Good luck for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Red zone every single day, and I got to get my bets in early on the Bengals. You get them early, you don't talk about it until the game's over, they win every week.
I like that.
Coming to Ryan House. This bar's for house. We come every week, they win every week.
All right.
Every week I'm here, they're winning.
Hey, you should just get a tent and pitch it outside. We're going back to the Super Bowl, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so fellas, I got one more question. Do you know what yins means?
Yeah, we don't use that word here.
Yeah, no, that's a Philadelphia thing.
Appreciate it, guys. Hooray!
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 All righty.
And that video cut off, man. The end of that video was awesome. Hey, so Ryan House, if you've never been down to OTR or if you've been to OTR, have been to Ryan House, man, you got to get there. Jamie and Danny are great. They're just good dudes. It's one of the better places to watch football games downtown in OTR as well. But when Danny was talking about Yans, he said that's just Pittsburgh's word for y'all. I started dying laughing. So they're good folks. But Mark, that was great, buddy. I know you had fun with that. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it was awesome going down there. Like I said, I usually go down there to watch soccer matches. I don't really get down there for the football games too much because either we're tailgating or I'm watching from home. But they're great guys. Jamie is awesome. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always there to help you. And it was just great to get the win Sunday. I was absolutely ecstatic. I was kind of disappointed with some of the fans online. They were really, we're going to lose. And I was like, we have Joe Burrow. How can you say this? We're a great second half team. And there's actually a video, I don't know if you saw it, but Tyler Boyd, one of the journalists, asked him a question. And he was like, we have Joe Burrow. And he was like, "That's pretty much it." And he just shook his head like, "Yeah." So, I mean, it's great having a franchise quarterback. I love this team. I love the resiliency. I love the fight, and I never feel like we're out of it. So Sunday was awesome.
That's awesome. Good job. Hey, before we get to making a difference with Tony the Tiger, hey Jamie, can you put James on full screen for a second?
Sure.
All right. So look at James' new hairdo here and his stash.
It's not new. I just got the stash trimmed up.
Well, he put some gel or something, Dapper Dan or whatever, something in his hair. So
the fresh cut.
Here's who he reminded us of. There you go.
Everett.
He is without a doubt a Dapper Dan man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our soggy bottom.
Hey,
anyway,
James dishes it out. He can take it, so he's a big boy.
I can take it for sure.
Kenny, you okay?
No, he's just mad that Mark in his segment didn't ask him what type of pie they preferred: pecan, pumpkin, or apple.
You know what? I was thinking when they were set up there during the segment, I thought he was going to get mad because nobody picked Canada.
Oh, that's true.
It's all good. You watch Canada beat Belgium tomorrow. It's all good.
And the correct answer is sweet potato. Can't believe that wasn't an option.
Is that really a pie? Can we move on? Let's move on. Okay.
Yes, I'm just gonna stroll this banner across the bottom and let Tony talk about it.
Yeah, Tony, let's pop this damn thing up here, brother.
That's
we're
insane.
At almost $72,000.
That's insane.
Can't believe it.
Good job,
We're
guys.
1 week after the bye week, and with our current charity that we got going on, 72 grand. I think that ain't nothing to laugh at, man. It's awesome. That graphic that you just popped up, I just went ahead and made the executive decision that we're going to go to 100K. That's going to be our new goal. If we don't make it, we're going to make our goal 75, but we got to have something to shoot for, just like our boys going to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go 100K for this year.
Here was the original, and then Mr. Optimistic, and there we go.
Yeah, 100K. We can do it.
So Tony, go ahead.
It's awesome. Like I said, almost $72,000. Our current charity that we're working for is the Parkinson Support and Wellness Organization. We started this earlier this week. We're doing a duck race. It'll be held on 12/6. Our goal is to sell out 100 ducks at $50 a piece. It'd be $5,000 going to that charity. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's for a quarterback package that I was able to put together. Awesome package. It's full of all of our quarterbacks. It's something that, I would be proud to have, and it's something that you need to have in your memorabilia for sure. So make sure you buy that duck for this. Winner takes all.
Yeah, I don't know if we have this. I don't know if we have this or not, but is there? Yeah. Do we have that?
I have it up. Just take the picture down for me. There we go.
Yep. So there's a link. We're doing a little bit different. This is through Eventbrite. Reason is the organization that was having difficulties trying to create that separate page that we like. But as always, we'll be transparent with those payments, and 100% of these proceeds will go to that charity. So make sure you get your duck and buy that duck and get your chance into that duck race, which we're going to hold on 12/6. A couple other things just to talk about real quick that's coming up in our charity realm is on 12/4. Is our next tailgate. We'll be doing Maddie's House, which is one of my favorite organizations. So we'll be doing that for the charity raffle itself. And it also starts our toy drive for Toys for Tots. So make sure you bring your new unwrapped toy to that tailgate as well and fill those boxes up. We had a hell of a turnout last year, and I'm hoping to exceed that for sure with them toys. So and then on 12/10, we got something that's going to be released out here shortly. I'll just highlight it a little bit, but it's Fill the Bus. We're going to be going around with the Bengal bus and going to a couple locations, and we'll get some further details. But toys, tigers, and tailgate, that's what we're going to do. Another attempt to, again, gather them toys up for all the needy families and fill that bus up for them. So there's a couple of things that's coming up in our future. So other than that, that's all I really had to talk about with our charity. But you guys are awesome. Thanks to Bengal Nation. Everyone who's contributing, it's $72,000. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And to add to the Tigers, Toys, Tots whatever the triple T there on that Saturday, the 10th. We will be ending that at Paul Brown Stadium, seeing our friend Andrea there at the Bengal Pro Shop. So if you want to, maybe you're not going to the game or you don't want to bring the items down, you can meet us at the Pro Shop. See Andrea there, who just commented, and we'll be able to pick up the toys there in the Bengal gym. What's it going to be? It's going to be like a Santa sleigh that Saturday before the game, just filled with toys. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And as Tony mentioned, we're dot the I's, crossing the T's for that. But that'll be the Saturday before the Browns game at Paycor. So as always, Tony, appreciate everything you do. It's exciting couple weeks coming up with back-to-back games, and to blow through that number of 75 and head towards our new goal of 100K.
That's right. We could do it too. I have no worries that we can blow that 75 out of the water. So thanks to you guys. It's a great platform. It's a team effort. Just because I help lead this effort, there's Bengal Nation, all the guys that come tailgating, our little group that does all this. It's everybody. So just appreciate everybody's help on getting this charity goal going forward.
Yep. I can't wait for the details. We're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody that's watching right now, you want to get involved in that Toys for Tots. It won't only be at the tailgates. We are going to have that event on the 10th, and you guys can meet us at different areas across the city in Northern Kentucky and finish up or meet us down at the Paul Brown Stadium. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. So keep your eyes out for that event on the 10th. Tony, we appreciate it, buddy. It means a lot.
Oh, man. Who day?
All right. Who day,
Thanks,
buddy?
Tony. Cheers, buddy.
Hey, so we got a new one here. You guys ready? You guys ready for this?
I want to know how this guy was even allowed to make one.
Yeah, well, I have very good editing skills. You should have seen how it initially came through, but here it goes.
This is the 2-minute warning.
Is he calling for a fair catch there? What the hell's Scott doing?
He was drinking. He's a little confused sometimes. I don't know.
Hey, talk about fair catches. Was that not Football History Sunday by the Bengals, the illegal fair catch?
I'm just glad it was only a 5-yard penalty. It wasn't like a 15-yarder. But
well, truthfully, I don't blame him. The way that ball bounced, I mean, he was looking straight up. With 3 Steelers right there, I'd have waved a fair catch too.
It all worked out, thankfully. It all worked out.
Hey, Tom, go ahead and get us started here, closing everything out.
Monstrous win against a hated rival. I do want to take this opportunity. I got a lot of mentions, questions, a lot of grief on social media last week on this show. And I want to apologize. I used a particular term in describing the team from the city where the Ohio River is formed. And I want to apologize now for my language. Jimmy has known me for decades. The guys know me well. They can attest I'm not like that. Calling them bastards, I agree. It was soft. And I will go much harder from now on. They deserve it. And so I apologize to everybody who brought that up to me. And yes, I went far too soft on them and their jackass fans. So I will definitely pick it up, and I apologize. But a big win against them. And now that makes this week an even bigger week. And hopefully we get Jamar Chase back. But you know what? The guys we have play the best they possibly can. We will go down and come back from Nashville with a win. And there'll be a prize. I don't know what it is. If anybody can get on film Bengal Jim 2-stepping, which I'm told will happen. James, can you make that happen?
I might be right out there with him in the 2-step mosh pit. Beautiful Nash Vegas.
You could actually, they don't let people with mustaches 2-step anymore. But
wait, you should see these Wranglers I'm going to have. It's going to be big. It's going to be
the 70s are over, but no, big game. And if they play their best football, they'll come back with a win. So again, protect Joe Burrow, tackle, and don't turn the ball over, and everything will be good. And with that, I will pitch it over to my good friend Jamie. That's all right. You can catch anyway.
I don't have my ball. Sorry. I was snuggled up in bed with it all week last week, and I was sick, so I don't have it with me. Sorry. Yeah, as Tom was just saying, obviously big game. Bengals 6 of 8. It's down I got friends up here. Obviously, who don't cheer for the Bengals, fans of other teams. kind of surprised to hear that the Bengals are 6 in the last 8. So it feels like they're doing it quietly. It almost feels like, and I kind of like that because that's how it was last year. So I kind of feel like this is we're coming to the bye week with the same sort of momentum, and we're gonna sneak up on some people. So big game in Tennessee. Do what we did last year and stop Henry. And I think we, obviously everyone knows stop Henry, and that's how you win against the Titans. So, and to be honest with you guys, I actually like the pie question. I like the pie question. The reason I'm going to bring it up is because when I asked if he was a gamer and if he liked PlayStation, Jimmy's face is like, what the hell kind of question? What kind of question is this? James is like, where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? And then you guys followed up with if he likes pie. What kind of
Excuse me, damn it.
I hope somebody from Cincy Jungle's watching and we get a Sugar McPherson pie shirt. Anyway. Anyway, guys, beat the Titans. Let's get back to the Super Bowl. I'm excited to see where this team goes. And the last thing I'm going to say is, we were all worried when you lose Jamar Chase. I mean, who wouldn't be? And the pundits this team's nothing without them. If you haven't learned by now that this team is not just one single player, this is a total team effort. And obviously, you want a guy like Jamar Chase playing, and we are a better team with Jamar Chase. But just see what this team can do when you lose a piece. Next man up. That's what we need to do.
Yep, good point.
Let's go to James, who will now discuss his favorite bunt cake. James.
Well, I'm just glad to have Jamie back. That he's feeling 100%. It's just we missed him. We missed Jamie, and so glad he's back. But looking forward to, as Tom said, just circle back a little bit about last Sunday. It was a good win, a much needed win, and now let's keep the momentum going before we come back to Paycor. For those of us that were in Nashville last year for the playoff game, man, that was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can walk out of Nissan Stadium, I guess that's what it's called now, with those big smiles on our face, just like we did last January. With that said, it's going to be couple nights of fun leading up to the big tailgate on Sunday. So we'll get down to Nash Vegas, as I like to call it, Friday. We have the official party Saturday night there. For those that were in town last year for the playoff game, Saturday night at what's the bar called?
Tailgate Brewery.
Tailgate Brewery there on Music Row. And then on Sunday, we secured a new location at 111 North 1st Street with our friends at the Bengal trailer for a tailgate. The one thing that's shocking is a 1 o'clock Eastern game, which we know will be a noon kickoff Nash Vegas time. So we're going to have to start drinking a little bit earlier on Sunday. So behave on Saturday night. But Nash Vegas, as I said before, one of the best cities in the country. And what are you laughing at, Jimmy? What are you laughing at?
I'm waiting for you to get done. You just finish. I got something for you.
Okay. So I can't wait for this. So look forward to seeing everybody in Nashville, and I can't wait to hear what Jimmy has to say.
You're not going to get that Barbasol on the air, are you?
He wants to know if you're chocolate or vanilla ice cream.
Who knows?
Or hey, just if Bengal fans, if you're down in Nashville, James is going to have Wranglers on, boots with spurs. He's going to be looking good, man. I'm telling you.
FaceTime. You better be doing a group FaceTime. I want to see this.
Jamie, you always get a drunk call to Canada about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And this weekend probably won't be any different.
4 a.m. with Super Bowl.
Well, there's a time
Jamie,
difference.
that's a story we're going to tell this offseason. You and I can tell that story this offseason.
Oh, that's funny.
We just have to drink enough one of these days to be able to get brave enough to call Tom, but none of us have.
You did.
That brave
you
yet.
did on your way home from the Super Bowl party last year.
Oh,
I think we called. I think we called everybody. We tried it.
You did.
Well,
that was the epic classic, James. You woke up. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you said, "What are you doing?" And I could hear your wife Lori in the background screaming, "He's sleeping like a normal person."
Oh. If you want to see
gosh.
James, with his Wranglers, his boots, that fancy country shirt, and probably a 10-gallon hat, two-stepping, just come on down to the tailgate down in Nashville.
All
right, Jimmy, your turn, buddy. Close it out.
All right, real quick. Tomorrow night, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, come down to Barleycorn's Brew House. I'll be down there pretty much late afternoon, all through the evening. A lot of Bengal prizes, live bands, all kinds of things going on down there. Come on down there and join me, have a beer. We'll have some fun with that. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say just real quick, congratulations to Willie Anderson as one of the finalists. As we still have work to do on that, so keep an eye on the social media platforms.
I'm going to call that now. Tom's going to have a big segment talking about that next Tuesday show. So be ready. Tom is going to preach from the highest mountain on our man, Big Willie, and getting him into Canton.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, man, just to let you guys know, the charity that we got going on right now for the duck race is for Parkinson's. So just to let you know, there is a member of the Tailgate fam, a friend of mine that I've known for many years, who was just diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he didn't know we were going to roll that charity out. So Tony and I kind of sent a message to him, and I think he got it. He was very touched by what we were doing there, man. So support the Parkinson's fundraiser, the duck race we're doing by duck. This means something pretty close, near and dear to our heart, with one of our Tailgate family being affected by Parkinson's. So make sure you buy yourself a duck or two if you're able to. Guys, I want to personally thank everybody. I want to thank Cam. Cam is just awesome. I want to thank Evan for being on. I know we had a lot of fun. He's already texted me, so he had a blast, by the way. I don't think he was really sure what to expect, and he wound up having a great time. And I want to thank you guys, everybody that's watching right now live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is by the fans, for the fans. Without you, we don't do any of this. But we appreciate you guys tuning in and helping and supporting us. It means a lot. We love you guys. Let's get that dub in Nashville this week. We'll see you in Nashville. Who Day. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Who Day.
Who Day.